Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. We are recording and I'm excited. G'day everyone, Wesley here from the Mental Awareness Foundation, and we are doing a Under the Radar segment. So what is Under the Radar? It is where we at the Mental Awareness Foundation just take the time to interview people that to us are just flying under that radar, right? Not these two characters because they've been running around Australia, but you know, they're doing something great, and we feel like it's our purpose to bring it onto your radar and expose the great work that these particular two beautiful people are doing. So now you may recall earlier in the year, it was probably actually 6 months ago. Was it 6 months ago, girls? I think it was 6 months ago.
Would have been more, would have been March. I reckon it was the 24th.
Oh, wait, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it was, I think you were like week 1 or 2.
Yeah. We were in Emerald, yeah.
Exactly. But if you're not aware, we've got Claire and Kate. They are the girls that are working their way around Australia doing the Hoedown. And we spoke to them in early March, and I reached out. I said, listen, girls, let's do the coming home. Let's do the coming home under the radar segment. And wow, like what are we now? Call it 9 months on. Yeah. It is coming home. So girls, I just want to say to start off, congratulations. Like I'm sure you've had the time of your lives, but from the Mental Awareness Foundation in our community, thank you for giving back. Like, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule or your life to do something like this, because I'm sure you've touched many people all over Australia and perhaps even the world with your generosity. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, just when we couldn't love Wes anymore, Kate. Oh, thank you so much. That's really, really lovely of you. And yeah, we've done a fair few media interviews this year, but yours at the start of the year really sticks in our mind as one of our absolute favourites. So it's so nice to be back.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows. So
it is recording. So there you go. I said it.
Well, Claire and Kate, I guess how many kilometres have you done so far?
So we have clicked over 43,000 kilometres so far, and we've got to hightail it back to Brisbane. That's planned for tomorrow. So we'll have done close to the 45 by the time we finish up at Keith.
Yeah. And how is the car coping? Because there's you two and then the car, so which is really a third person. So
yeah, they are the.
How's she coping?
Oh, Susie Q.
Oh, I hate that name. I still haven't come up with a name for the car the whole year. Kate thinks it's called Susie. I don't like that. So yeah, we haven't managed
Betsy?
to.
Would you run with Betsy?
Oh, I like that so much more.
No,
I think it's
Susie.
I think the car's a guy, honestly.
She's so Susie.
Anyway, I would say minor detail, but I think it is a major detail. Anyway, no, the car has not let us down at all. We've got a day and a half to go, but we haven't even got a flat tire yet. So it just, we've done the Birdsville track in its entirety, the Hoedowns track in its entirety. That's been along a lot of dirt roads. It's been our transport, our home. So something that we really hoped would not let us down, and it hasn't. So it really has been perfect for the year.
Shout out to Susie Q or Betsy, or if you do, maybe call it Wes. I don't know. Anyway,
oh my God. How did we not think of this? Let's so call the car Wes.
Well, I guess actually let's go back a little to those that may be watching for the first time, or perhaps you're watching and you're like, oh, those two girls look familiar. Girls, give us a rundown, the Hoedown. What is it all about?
Yeah, so Hoedowns for Country Town sort of started as a bit of an idea for Claire and I when we first met at a line dancing class in Toowoomba a couple of years ago. We just got sort of chatting as the two younger members of the crowd, and talking about things that we liked, like travel and line dancing and rural people, and it sort of all accumulated into one big thing and an idea of, hey, wouldn't it be cool to line dance around Australia one year? And then it just sort of kept coming up and remained a bit of a pipe dream, but kept coming up. And we were like, okay, we've got to make this happen. And yeah, worked out a plan, and 2022 was going to be the year. And so just bringing our three main objectives with the trip are really to bring people together. It's been a pretty tough couple of years for a lot of people out there with COVID and bushfires and floods, and we see that all happening again at the moment as well. So it's really to bring people together. And then our other one was to share the love of line dancing. Claire and I are both, you know, super passionate about that. And yeah, wanted to just get people out, get them boot scooting and boogieing the night away. And then also we've raised money for charity on our lap around as well. So they were sort of our main three objectives. And I'd say we've had a pretty successful year all in all.
Nice. Now, obviously, line dancing all over Australia. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of where you've been?
Oh, well, we kicked off literally in Toowoomba at the start of March, and then worked our way north to Rocky and then inland to Emerald. So yeah, that's where we first talked to you, Wes. It was about a week and a half in. Everything was new and exciting and not exciting and everything basically. And then from there we went down to Birdsville and then crossed into South Australia. Went down to basically down the Birdsville track and to Adelaide, and then we went back north, basically straight up the middle. Once we got to Darwin, it was roughly just an anti-clockwise route around the rest of the country, including Tassie in October, and then yeah, this past month we've been working our way through New South Wales. So we've been yeah, if we sing the "I've Been Everywhere" song, I reckon we could tick a fair few of those towns off.
Oh, absolutely. And how beautiful is Tassie? Isn't Tassie just a great spot? You would have been in your element.
Oh, and I don't know what they're doing when they're not boot scooting, because we had our first event there. There was 104 people. And
which is our highest attendance of any event right across Australia, if I could get that word out.
Then we had 102. Then we had 1. And then we had 101. So they don't do averages there. It's either all or nothing. And the support that we got, yeah, there in Tassie was absolutely phenomenal. And so many great people. And yeah, as you say, a beautiful, beautiful state as well. So yeah, while all the states have been on the whole pretty darn supportive, there was just something about Tassie. They really, really got behind us. So it was a really enjoyable 3 weeks there.
Have you found as you've gone along, obviously, you know, different states, different people, different cities, but has there been actually a common theme that you've noticed with people?
I would here's the first of Wes's tough questions. I would say it's been pretty consistent in terms of a lot of people turning up to our events who've never danced before and giving us every excuse under the sun. I've got 2 left feet, I've got this, I've got that, I can't dance, blah, blah, blah. And every time we're just like, well, we don't actually really care if you can't dance. And even if you get on the floor and you still can't dance, as long as you're having a little bit of fun, that's quite all right. So I think across the trip, we've been like, nah, no excuse, just get on there and have a go. Although I did say that to someone and he was like, oh, I'm not going to get on the dance floor. And I said, oh, why is that? He said, oh, I fell off a roof last week. I was like, okay, that's the one excuse around Australia I'm probably going to accept. But yeah, probably just a lot of people who are hesitant at first to give it a go, but when they, you know, get on the floor, we step through it. We obviously only do beginner dances, try and keep it a really fun and relaxed environment. By the end of the night, people are, you know, pretty confident and having a good time. So that's been really nice to see, I think, all around the place.
And we've had a whole range of different people that still fit into that category. Like we've had farmers, and we've had just like everyone from the town come together, and there's been a number of events where people have commented going, oh, like you've done an incredible job to get this range of people in the one room and enjoying an activity together. They're like, these people don't necessarily mix and all that sort of thing. And it's also been an excuse for a lot of, you know, the new people in town to come along and meet some of the existing people in town. And yeah, just bringing people together. It's really been from all walks of life has been quite amazing.
If you're happy to reveal your secrets or a secret, what works to get someone to go from a no to a yes?
I think, well, we always start all of our events with, I'd say there's 2 things there. We always start all our events with the nut bush. So people often don't realize that that is a line dance. So it's one that most people at, you know, a party at some point over their life, most people have at some stage done the nut bush. So if we say we're starting with that, it seems, you know, it's not completely throwing them in the deep end. So we do still walk it through, but people are going on thinking it's not all completely scary. So I would say there's that. And it's also, no one ever wants to be first on the dance floor. So even though the best that they can be is third, because we're always first, as long as, you know, that one extra person jumps on. As soon as one person's on, everyone else kind of thinks, oh, well, they're doing it, I can give it a go. So you just need someone to be bold and get on there, and then others join. So I'd say they're the two
I'd agree.
things. Yeah.
And in recent times as well, the chicken dance has been getting a bit of a resurgence at our groups, and that's I've really enjoyed that in the last few times we've done that, because we'll do that at a crowd of like, you know, adults. There might be a couple kids and we're like, okay, we'll do the chicken dance, and then everybody is like gets in and gets involved, because it's something fun, it's something easy, and then you know, you're linking arms and carrying on with, you know, someone you haven't conversed with ever, and then afterwards you like have a bit of a chuckle and a bit of a laugh, and that sort of builds those connections a bit more. So just making sure it's okay that people can get on the dance floor and be, you know, make a fool of themselves, because that's the big thing. Like, and Claire and I are, you know, we're sort of self-proclaimed you know, classroom clowns when we get up there, but you know, making it okay for people to you know, miss a step and all that sort of thing, and just make it fun. People will be watching.
And well said, because it is important, if you are watching this, is just not to take life so seriously, right? It's about sort of exposing yourself to some fun things, and sort of, you know, embracing the trip or the kick or the, you know, or the twist that went not so good. But you know, that's sort of. Now, of course, girls, I'm sure you've embraced every city, but has there been one that stood out? Has there been an occasion where you're just like, whoa, that happened? Is there anything, you know, I'm sure the whole trip is a highlight, but anything stands out?
I would say, in terms of the whoa bit, I would say Tassie, that first event we mentioned before where there was 104 people. So, you know, we were 7 months in and that was our biggest event. And each state that we go to, we plan like a token big event. So, you know, there'll be a sit down catered meal, there'll be speeches, you know, that someone from the charity will turn up. There'll be a great raffle. Like, just, we've gone to that extra effort to make one really big one in each state. So Westbury, this first town we came to in Tassie, this was not our token big event for the state. And we thought, you know, originally we just thought it was going to be, you know, there's a local line dancing group. So, you know, 10 or 15 from there, plus a few others. So it'd be about 25 people. So that's probably stock standard. I would say most of our events between 20 and 40. So the local line dancing group offered to cater for this event. And we're like, oh, you know, if you're sure, we're thinking probably between 20 and 40. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Well-oiled machine. We'll do it. And I was like, gave them a ring and I was like, oh, and there's been a few more. It's probably going to be 40 people. She's like, 40? No, that's completely fine. And then she rang, oh, Claire, I've got a few more. It's going to be about 50 people. Anyway, there was 104. And well, we originally thought there was going to be 90 and there ended up being 104. And I was like, we do not want to exploit your goodwill. You agreed to cater thinking there was going to be between 20 and 40. And she's like, no, all good. They made 18 casseroles and they fed 104 people. And that was just out of the goodness of their heart. So I think that was whoa in the absolute best of ways. And that was you know, the dance floor wasn't even big enough for everyone. We had to split it between like the Kate versus Claire group. So that was thinking on our feet, but yeah, in the best of ways. It was such a fun night. Westbury really turned out for us, that's for sure.
Well done for pivoting. Now, I must say, every country town has a character. You know?
Yes.
Is there a standout character?
Wes, just ask the best questions, Kate. What about Hype Man?
Oh yeah. Hype Man
was only 2 weeks ago in Junee in New South Wales. He rocked up. I don't think he'd ever line danced before, but he was wearing a pink cowboy hat, and he stood in the back row and he got so into it. And before we started the music each time, he'd just like yell out a punchline like, focus everyone, or be aggressive, or, you know, look like you want to be here. There was that. I would say Corey, even at Canamble, like last week, the night finished and then we just put music on and he picked up the mic and started singing karaoke.
Yeah, we'd put our mics down just going, oh, we'll just dance with everyone. And then next thing you know, he's come up, picked up our mics and starts doing karaoke. And
so we all started dancing and, you know, come on, everyone, look like you want to be here. That happened then as well. So they've been, you know, we danced with people in giraffe onesies at a station in the middle of, you know, of WA.
We've danced with police officers in Kununurra
on the side of the road
who like drove past, put their lights on, flashed, everything came in, pulled us over. We were like, oh god, is Footloose coming real? Like,
Kings Canyon.
What Kings Canyon?
Budgie smugglers.
Oh yeah. We danced with the guy in Kings Canyon in Nothing But His Budgie Smugglers. He asked whether he could, and we were like, sure, if you want to. His Budgie Smugglers only like had photos of his wife's face printed on them.
Ah.
That's the only time all trip that's happened. Surprise, surprise.
You can custom make those things, so you know.
So yeah, we've danced with
Funny
everyone.
Yeah, we've danced with just about everyone, I reckon.
How many dancing gigs have you done?
Oh, what's your guess? Throw that back to you.
I reckon high 80 something. I'll go 86.
Oh,
Pretty close. So we've done 72. So tonight in Newcastle is 73, and then Kate's will be Kate's hometown at Allaroe. That'll be 74. So yeah, close. Well done.
No, that's okay. I'm just stoked for you girls because as I mentioned previously, like it's a trip of a lifetime, right? So however, like all journeys, they do come to an end. And you have mentioned it sounds like you've got 2 more Hoedowns to go. This one is in Newcastle, where you are currently. And I'll make sure to upload this video as quickly as possible so that we can get it out there. But tell us about Newcastle. What's happening there?
So we've just hired out a local community centre. There's been a few people throughout the year saying, come to Newcastle. So yeah, I've just hired it out. We never really need to know numbers unless it's for catering purposes. So this is just a 2-hour lesson, 6 to 8 p.m. tonight at the Pasterfield Community Centre. And anyone who wants to come along, it's just, 2 hours of line dancing and laughs, basically. So this is our last on the road event, I guess, because then there's a crazy week happening next week, and then Kate's event. So anyone in around Newcastle, come along.
Yeah, $15 per person at the door.
Absolutely. Now we've got an event which Keith Urban's playing at, like FYI. However, we want to get the Hoedowns on the Keith Urban show. So tell us about that. What he's playing, where's he playing, and what do the public, or if anyone knows Keith, or can send a text or something. What are we trying to achieve?
Yeah, so Claire bought tickets to the Keith Urban concert for herself, myself, and a group of friends back in, 2020?
Yeah.
Back when he was first touring. And then thanks to COVID, it's been cancelled and cancelled. So it's postponed, but it's on this year. So 3rd of December at Brisbane Entertainment Centre. We have got tickets to the show, and we just think that a great way to finish the trip as a real finale would be to dance on stage with Keith. Every one of our Hoedowns across the country, we've danced to a Keith song. We've told at every event we always go, we want to dance on stage with Keith. The closest we've got is the mother-in-law's best friend, who has passed it on to Nicole's mum, so Keith's mother-in-law. That's as close as we've got at this stage. We haven't heard anything back, but we would absolutely just love to be on stage with Keith. Just dance for one song as a bit of a finale to kick the trip.
And he's going to disappoint everyone if it doesn't happen, because I've told so many people. My auntie threatened to delete him off her Spotify yesterday. So, high stakes, Keith.
Well, I was going to say, have you tried to slide into the DM at all on the Insta? Have you done all of that?
We've emailed all the musical agents out there. Anyone who we know knows someone who might have that connection. We have tried absolutely everything. We're like borderline harassment by this point in time, but we just want to dance on stage. And we think, like, if the message got to him himself, like, he pulls people up on stage all the time at concerts. So we think if he himself knows about it, we've got a good chance. It's just actually getting to him knowing about it. So all of our fingers and limbs have been crossed forever, basically, hoping it'll happen.
Well, he'll no doubt be watching this interview, so it's going to happen.
I would say so, exactly.
Of course.
It's going to go viral. Well, girls, serious questions. Like, what have you enjoyed about each other? Like, what have you picked up on each other? Like, what's been some of those, I don't know, maybe you haven't shared this with each other before, but like, what have you noticed What have you noticed as a couple, friends couple, of course, driving around and spending so much time together?
I think we've noticed, and we kind of knew at the start of the trip, but it's really solidified that, is that we have such different strengths, and it has worked so well on this trip.
We really have quite the complementary set of skills.
I love talking. I love words. I was a journo. Kate loves nothing more than just dissolving into a spreadsheet, basically. So I have been the one on the phone this year talking to people to get events happening. Kate's been the one, chasing up the finances, running the books and that sort of thing. And so there's that, and there's a few other things. Like there's so much that between us that, we've had to do. We're not, for anyone who thinks we've got some big team behind us, doing all the behind the scenes work. No, it's often just us, sitting in the car with a little bit of reception, trying to sort things. So even things like, Kate's last name is Strong, and Kate is much physically stronger than me. So Kate is the pack horse. Kate fits things into the car where they're supposed to go. I have become very accustomed to using Google Calendar, and I will tell Kate, okay, at this point in time, you need to be driving to here. So it's the pack horse and the PA, basically. So I think we've really learned this year just how much each other, I guess, excel at the different things, and not trying to step on toes. Just, if you're good at that, I'm not going to help. You do it. If I'm good at this, don't help. Leave me to it. So, I think that this year has worked really well. Yeah.
And how have you managed your mental health throughout all of this?
You
go.
I think it's really helped in a lot of ways having each other. There's been, it's not all sunshine and roses, and there's definitely days where you just want to go, no, I don't want to see your face today. I don't want to talk to anyone and all that sort of thing. But by having each other, we still, and being the friends that we are, we have that space to be able to talk and sort of do that. And also, dancing itself is a great way to work off some of that stress. I know there's been, if we get to a hall or something a bit early, I'll often set up the speaker and set everything up, and then before anyone arrives, I'll just go and bust out a few sort of harder dances, because that's what I often enjoy most. And Claire does her own thing by going for a walk and calling Alex and all those
I would
things.
I would just say just having breaks from the trip as well. Like there's been times that we I've had a few friends get married this year, so going home for weddings and just general breaks. We both have been able to duck home for a little bit, because anyone who calls this trip a holiday, I guess, we can see where they're coming from. I think it's been the busiest year of our lives, and it doesn't feel like a holiday at all. So I think having that break where you don't see each other, you don't think about the trip at all, I think has been really important. And I think Kate touched on it before, of sometimes when, if we're just camping somewhere and it's just us, we see each other all the time. And so we've come up with intentional ignoring, which is where we'll just pull up at a camp and that's it. Like we might both be around camp, we'll look like stinky teenagers of just having our headphones in, sitting next to each other. But it's very much, we're here for the next 6 hours, only talk to me if it's really, really important. And, we can just be sitting there. So we're quite content being in each other's company, not having to chat to each other. So I think that, that's probably helped as well. So, and all of it's just got easier as the trip has gone on in terms of what works, what doesn't work. When everything was new at the start, you don't really know the best way to run with things. But I think everything's got just the little 5%ers or 1%ers that make things a tad easier. I've really tried to hone in on that.
That's right.
Good work.
Now, girls, obviously coming towards the end, it's going to be emotional. I would assume so. I think once you sort of do that final dance, have you thought about that yet, or you just like, let's get to the finish line? But
I think I'm very much, let's just get to the finish line. And as great as the year has been, I think it'll mainly be relief that, wow, we've done it.
I think there's definitely going to be parts of this year that we miss and sort of come to reflect on over time as well. Like, oh, wasn't that cool how we did that and all that sort of thing. And I think that's all still to come. I think at the moment our sort of main priorities are Keith and working out what comes next. Like we both quit our jobs at the start of the year. It's the end of this year, looking forward to, next year, what comes next, where do we move to, families, partners, and all the rest of it. Sort of working out what comes next has been taking up a fair bit of airtime in both of our minds lately. And we will definitely be sad to see it go and finish, but there's definitely parts of it that are a relief, and it's a trip of a lifetime, so it's not going to be something we forget anytime soon. But I think we're ready to see what comes next.
I totally agree, and I just want to say well done, girls, because you created an idea and you executed it and you've gone through with it, and it's created purpose for you both. And obviously you've seen the journey through, which is integrity, right? And then you've brought smiles to people's faces, which is making a difference. And then, trying to give back to the community, which is obviously supporting, raising funds for charity, which is just fantastic. So you should be over the moon. And I'm actually getting tingles by saying it, because I'm just so stoked that you've gotten this far, but you've gotten through it safely as well, which is just fantastic, because I know that no doubt your partners or your parents or your friends would have been a bit concerned, particularly out on those big roads, like, those big trucks and the police. Yeah, actually, girls, I just thought I might put a little challenge out to you, because we've got an event called Walk for Awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whilst you were talking, and you're like, oh, your biggest crowd's 104 people. Well, next year in October, we're doing Walk for Awareness, and, we aim to have over between 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Well, that's a lot of casseroles.
could we bring you out of retirement for a 10-minute, hoedown with the Walk for Awareness crew on the morning of the 8th of October?
Well, I can't say I'm popular enough to have something on the 8th of October just yet. And I think, with this trip, the trip ends on the 3rd of December. And I mean, that's it in terms of, the big part of what Hoedowns for Country Towns is. But every now and then, if there is something and people really, really want us there, I'm not saying we can say yes to all of it, but if we can get there, we'd really like to. So I don't know, Wes.
The management team. I'll talk to the management team and
I reckon yes.
I reckon yes. For Wes, it's a yes, definitely.
Totally.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be really, really fun, because for us, it's about, and it touches on.
We could break the world record.
It's about participation and movement, right? And that's our big thing at MAF, and we encourage mental awareness by, coming on down, creating a community, which you girls have done. And then just by participating, getting your body moving and not taking yourself seriously. And then also, which you mentioned with the communities, having a chat, just having a chat to someone, and if the line dancing actually breaks down that barrier, like, how amazing, right? So anyway, I've planted a seed. I'll leave it there.
We'll do it. We've committed.
I'll add it to the Google Calendar, and once it's in there, no one else can get it.
On my Google Calendar. Girls, final question, and I know that you mentioned you've been thinking about this one, but once again, we're on that final billboard. Here is your billboard. What would you put up there?
I would put, and it's not original, but I would put "Just Do It." And sorry, Nike, I know you got the copyright to it, but I think this trip, and I don't know if we said this at the start of the year to you, but when you're first starting out, and this did start as just an idea. No one knew about it. No one, it was just us, and we really just had to believe in ourselves, because it's the catch-22 of, apart from people that you could probably count on one hand. If you're starting out with an idea, no one wants to support you until you've got backing, but then no one wants to back you until you've got support. So it's a catch-22. So in those first few stages, you've really just got to, unfortunately, people say, why not, or what if, or this won't work, X, Y, Z. So you've just got to kind of, at the start, believe in yourself and just do it. So there you go. Nike can take me on. But I think, just if you want to turn your dream into a reality and you're willing to put hard work and attitude in, just do it. So that's
Yeah.
mine.
Awesome.
Mine would be much the same, and I think I've said it many times throughout the year. And I would say, yeah, you've got to be brave enough to take the leap. Sometimes you won't know you can fly until you jump off that cliff. So you may as well take the leap.
Yeah, and well said. And it takes courage, right? And then execution too, and then seeing it all through, which we've all touched. But girls, thank you very much. I'm actually getting tingles because I just know that you're on that final stretch, and what an achievement. Actually, quick question: how much money have you raised so far?
So far, we've still got to finalise New South Wales, but so far we've raised $33,100.
Yeah, how good.
For 6 charities.
Yeah, that is epic. No, you should be very, very proud. And plus travel 43,000 kilometres. So, it's epic. But thank you. Listen, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for giving back to the community and making a difference, and for doing something really cool. And honestly, in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you're going to look back at this and just go, wow, we did that. So, if you're watching this, I encourage you, if you have an idea, run with it and make a difference. So, girls, we will say goodbye. Thank you very much. I'll post this up straight away onto YouTube, and then I'll send you the link so you can share it as well. But hey, take care and be safe on that final trip. Okay?
You too. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Wes. Love chatting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the best, girls. Take care and go, Keith. Come on, Keith.
Go, Keith.
Go on stage. We can do this. We can do this. Okay, see you, girls. Ciao.
See you,
Bye.
Wes. Thank you.